All right, enough City and Real Madrid.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the other game, which is the one I'm sure you want to talk about, Jules.
Vamos!
Paris Saint-Germain coming from behind, 2 goals down on aggregate
Yeah.
to knock out Barcelona. Now, very acrimonious the way this happened.
Yeah.
I will quickly give you my quick summation of this.
Go on.
Okay? Obviously, the Araujo red card made a big difference,
Yeah.
and we can talk about that.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, Barcelona are out because of 3 massive individual errors. So 2 individual ones, 1 collective. And that's Cancelo losing Dembele on the first goal.
Yeah.
And then losing him again a few minutes later when Dembele puts it wide.
Yeah.
On the second goal, defending too deep, the defender's not stepping out. Gundogan referenced Lewandowski. Fine, I'm going to reference Pedri. I love Pedri. Pedri, if you watch the replay, Pedri is hiding behind Asensio.
Yeah.
Dude, just step in front of him. You're right in front of the keeper. The guy's going to be offside on the shot. I'm talking about the Vitinha shot here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then finally, Cancelo's massive brain fart, right? The fourth goal was garbage time. Not really relevant. And those are the same 3 big individual errors that cost Paris Saint-Germain
Exactly.
in the first leg.
Yeah.
So if those net out, do we have a Paris Saint-Germain deserving of their place?
Yeah, I mean, I just think for the character that they showed in that second leg in a very hostile environment. I mean, I know it's not
the
football
intimidating
stadium.
Montjuic.
It was, man, and trust me, I was sat with 2 of my children with the Barcelona fans, and it was very intimidating. And credit to Barcelona fans, they really, the atmosphere was outstanding. It was amazing.
I mean,
And
credit to them because for those who don't know, Barcelona play at the Camp Nou. The atmosphere at the Montjuic has been criticized all season long.
Yeah.
Supposedly fans don't want to go there. On this night,
Incredible. Really incredible. Everything. I mean, they got the wrong bus at the start, so they threw stones at their own bus instead of the PSG one, which, because they had so much flares, they could not really see. I mean, I don't know. But it was great. And PSG go a goal down when they started really well again. They go a goal down because Lamine is that good, and then Rafinha gets a little bit lucky, and then you're thinking, this is not looking good. There is no reason or explanation or justification for Araujo, who is one of the best defenders in Europe, to go and make that foul on Barcola. There's just nothing. There is nothing at all. He doesn't need to. I even think that Ter Stegen could get to the ball before Barcola, even if Araujo doesn't touch him. It's the most stupid and ridiculous foul that you can make, that let your team down after 29 minutes in a game of this caliber against a team that is already very good and I started that game well, and then you let your team with 10 men, and after that, obviously, but you could feel it straight away in the stadium that Barca were there for the taking. Their head dropped, the fans' head dropped as well. The atmosphere went from like this super high, incredible atmosphere to like, this is not good. Now we are in fear. And at halftime, I saw there was a former PSG player sat next to us, not far from us, and he said they're there for the taking. And if PSG don't mess this up, if they stay composed and serious, don't make a mistake, they're gonna roll them over. And that's exactly what happened. And I mean, I know games can go on a mistake like that, but that one from Araujo at this level is really, really bad.
What struck me too about what happened afterwards, and we'll go back to the Araujo thing, is Barcelona decided to, I think, effectively sit deep.
Yeah.
That's fine for certain clubs, Juventus of the early Allegri era and whatever else. This is not something they're comfortable doing. If you're going to do that, you need to have the outball to play on the counter. And effectively at that point, you only had that with Rafinha. And it's not like Lewandowski's going to run away from anybody.
But why did he take Lamine Yamal off?
That's the question. I mean, I'm fine with keeping Rafinha on, but then you make a big call. Then you have to take off Pedri, right? That would have been the other obvious guy to take off.
Yeah.
That's a big call to make.
Or Lewandowski.
That's an even bigger call to make. I'm not going to fault Xavi because, I read a whole column about this. I love Xavi. I thought he was wrong to say that he was going to leave at the end of the season. Now I'm thinking, you know what? If you can't control yourself, if you get yourself sent off in these games, I'm not blaming this on Xavi on his own, but there's a total lack of leadership from the bench. And after he got sent off, the brother got a yellow card. The goalkeeping coach got sent off. Sergio Roberto, stupidly suspended for the game, gets sent off too. That was a big letdown. I don't want to twist a knife on Xavi, but he's now been sent off 3 times this season in his entire playing career for Barcelona, Spain, and whatever team he coached in Qatar or played for in Qatar for 4 years. He'd only been sent off twice. Clearly, there's a level of emotional investment there, which does not allow him to think clearly. And look, it's not just him, right? We've seen this before. We've seen this with Luis Enrique when he was there. And especially with Pep. Yes, even Pep. Remember, way back when, in his early years, he's like winning Champions League titles, and then at the end of the season saying like, no, I don't know if I'm going to be back next year because it's too exhausting. It takes too much of a toll on my health, my family, all this stuff. Hey, look, men's mental health. I completely respect that. On this occasion, like, he was out of control. And I think with more leadership from the bench, because Barcelona created chances after that. It's not like through the game. It's not like while they did defend deep, it's not Paris Saint-Germain were not invulnerable.
No, for sure. There's one for Rafinha. There's a couple for Lewandowski that made the wrong decision.
The Gundogan one as well. So the chances were there. And so I felt, you've shown you can play. You've shown you can hang with these people. You've shown that maybe Lucho got a few things wrong as well in the way they set up. And so just to leave your team like this 11 minutes into the second half.
I know, I thought we let them down. And also all the thing about the referee. And I think the referee made the right calls. I think it's a penalty, like you said. Cancelo, again, talked about Araujo. Why is Cancelo tackling Dembele when Dembele is going towards the...
It's very simple here. There's a parallel universe, and I tweeted this out, so I'm going to repeat this. There's a parallel universe where Alejandro Balde isn't injured. Cancelo does not start this game, certainly not at left back. And they go through. There's no way Balde makes that stupid tackle that Cancelo makes. There's no way Balde doesn't
another mistake.
Doesn't lose Dembele. I mean, no, but it just doesn't happen.
New, though. Yeah, but it's not new that Cancelo can't really defend. He did well in the first leg. Him and Kubasi on that left-hand side, not so much this time. And what I like about Ousmane Dembele is so he was just, I mean, the level of abuse, I mean, and booing and whistling every time he touched the ball was just, again, incredible. And expected, because that's what we knew that's what's going to happen. Barcelona fans and people in Barcelona were not happy with the way he celebrated his goal in the first leg. The Catalan media were going...
The way he left the club, too.
The way he left the club, but also the way that he celebrated, not showing gratitude and all of that. So they went really hard on him in their columns and everything. That's fine. And he didn't start the game well. He tripped on the ball. He missed passes, all of that. But what I like about him is that he just keeps on going and going and going. Even if it's not looking that it's going to be his night, he keeps on going and going and going. And I think that's what also helped this team, because you needed... We talked about leadership for Barcelona. You needed big players in there, not to be intimidated, not to go your head down after you concede the first goal. Even when you miss chances, you keep going. You needed Mbappe, you needed Dembele, you needed Marquinhos, those kind of guys. And I think on that level, certainly, even if he was not perfect, they delivered.
Let's talk Mbappe. Were you expecting more?
No, for me, he did what he had to do. He was very good the whole week leading to the second leg. He was very present and available, which hasn't been the case all the time this season. There were times where he just didn't really feel like he was involved in things in the dressing room, certainly. Since between the first leg and the second leg, he was there all the time. He kept saying, we're going to do this, we're going to win. Him and Luis Enrique seemed really on the same page. Enrique said something really interesting after the first leg. In the dressing room, he said to the players, he said, listen, I'll tell you something. We will go there and they will make mistakes. He said, forget about what happened tonight. We lost. But it will be their turn to make mistakes at Montjuic. And that's exactly what happened. And I thought Mbappe was very good in the leadership role that he had between the two legs. But let's not get too down or too high either. Let's not be too confident. PSG had never, ever overturned a tie after losing the first leg at home in their history in Europe. And I thought he was really good. And then during the game, I mean, he scored a penalty when you need big cojones to do at that time. You do. It was really like the atmosphere was at that time of the game.
Okay.
It's massive. Then he scored his second goal. I thought at times he stretched the game well. He was always a threat. I think Kubasi and Inigo Martinez, had to watch him carefully. He dropped when he had to do. He calmed everything down. He set the tempo. No, I like the way he plays.
There's a question about Paris Saint-Germain and those talking points that we do for the website.
Yeah.
This perception, this narrative, and I do think there is something to this. That in breaking up the Neymar, Messi, Mbappe partnership, right, with Neymar and Messi moving on, bringing in a coach like Lucho, who, frankly, you can like him, you can dislike him, but Lucho's the kind of guy who's like, oh, I don't like the way things are going here. I'm done. He's the guy who's going to drop everything and walk out.
Yeah.
He's not going to take it. He's like, I don't need this. I'm Lucho. I've won the treble. I'm not going to accept any interference from upstairs, from outside. And I'm going to go with younger players who, let's face it, are more pliable, right? They're more likely. If I tell Warren Zaire Emery to, bang his head against the wall, he will probably do it for a while. Whereas some of the players, you ask Messi to do that, Messi's going to say, hey, Lucho, why don't you show me first how it's done, right? Is this more of a collective team ethos, Paris Saint-Germain? And if it is, because people say, oh, it's a secret to their success. Well, if it is, why didn't we see it so much in the group stage of the Champions League when they obviously came within a disputed penalty of going out? Or indeed in Ligue 1, where they have fewer points than they did at this stage last season.
Yeah, but you can play more as a team and have less points than the season before when you had Messi in your team and Neymar not so much. I don't know. I just think they're not perfect. They don't do everything perfectly. But one thing for sure, that everything they do is as a team.
More so than before.
More so than before. It used to be a sum of individuals. Even some of the players would say it. You could see it in the dressing room. You had little clans. Which is fine. A lot of dressing rooms it's normal that between, Argentines, you hang out together. It's just normal. But at times in Paris before, it felt a little bit
disjointed.
Yeah, and toxic sometimes. And I think this time, the good thing about Luis Enrique, as you said, Gabby, is just that this is what he does. There's just no star. There's no status. If he wants to take Kylian Mbappe off after 55 minutes, he does it, and nobody says anything, and that's right. If he wants to start Zaire Emery at 17 or 16 and play him every single game and trusting him, that's fine. He does what he wants.
Or leave out Colomwani and Gonzalo Ramos and Luis Campos' friends.
All the expensive signings, he doesn't care at all. And I think that's the big change. And that's what they needed. Is it enough to go and win the Champions League? I don't know. They're going to win the league. They might do the double domestically if they win the French Cup final. The Champions League, I don't know. But I think you have more chance run in this day and age to win the Champions League as a team than just because you've got 11 good individuals who don't actually play as a team. And just to finish on that, the fourth goal, as you said, is garbage time. It doesn't matter so much. But the fact that Mbappe is there tackling the ball in his own box on that pass from Gundogan towards Fermin, and then obviously sprinting is at the other end, I can guarantee you Mbappe would not have done that last season or the season before, and neither would have Neymar or Messi.
That does not reflect on where he was a year ago.
Exactly.
Let me just leave it, put it that.
Yeah.
Final thing, Gigi Donnarumma, big save. Little step towards redemption for the first leg.
Yeah, and you know what I wanted to say to you? I was with him after the game, and he wanted his dad to come in the ground to go in the dressing room, and the mean people at Barcelona, who the stadium people, didn't let Gigio's dad, his poor dad, to come in. I thought that was really, really. I was like, come on, man! And Gigio was fuming. It's one of those. He had a good game. The save that he had to make, he made. He showed some good leadership and good character. Well done. And again, the first leg, I think it was not just on him, but it's good that a week later he had recovered.